Look, guys, our culture did try, maybe not successfully in the end, but it still did try to direct us to the fact that there are objective energy informational interactions. However, if now at this time, in your current mature mind, someone would shift your worldview a little bit, just believe. Just try to believe to what I'm saying, and you would see for yourself how popular wisdom try to give you the ethics on how to interact with thin levels of matter existence. I'm not even talking about the great fairy tales, Beauty and the Beast. This one is usually good for addressing business people. When by age 34 or 42 they begin to inflate just like a soap bubble or a puffed up frog, they can only swim on the surface and can't dive. All of this is mine. I have created all of it. This kind of person would say, if I want, I'll transfer the money here. If I want, I'll transfer the money there. If I want, I'll fire this one or hire that person. So I have to tell these guys, when they begin to lose their assets around age 35 or 42, somewhere in this age period, I tell them the fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast. One day this girl was allowed to the banquet, and the invisible owner, master, was putting everything on the table and was cleaning after her and even made her bed. He was just invisible, and she thought it is okay, that all of this always would be hers. But then came the tension. The one who was able to prove by his actions that he means well, he was just afraid to show himself, since he was so ugly. He even received an affirmation that he would be loved if he would show himself. So he trusted and he showed himself, and the small irresponsible person just fainted. She was just used to exploiting the benefits, and she didn't have to do anything for it. And how much time had to pass until the beast was turned into a prince. So guys, it is often important to show successful people in this age range what is behind their intuitive success and urge them to change from inertial, intuitive and thoughtless following of what was offered before. The thing is that their only merit was the fact that they didn't really resist it to the verdicts that was pulling them out to the surface. And when they're on the surface to advance further according to the purpose of life, they should change their purpose around 35, 42. If they do not change the purpose of their life, then again, many of you know about it. Vysotsky, one of our famous artists, had a song about it. He sang about Mayakovsky, Yesenin, Byron, Arthur Rimbaud, and Pushkin. They all died at the age of 37 for some reason. Such an interesting date. Modern people jump over this date somehow, as Vysotsky said. Why did it happen? People do not know that they should change their worldview when they're 35. Objective laws of the field require it. Shift to the next speed of interaction with the surrounding world. People mature to a certain level of contact with the surrounding world and thin matters. And if they stay at the primitive level of their mind, then they do not correspond to the objective nature that influences them. So they're recycled. That's the whole situation. They're expelled from the school of life. So the knowledge of space arithmology allows you to precisely plan your crises and organization crises. And for example, when you're hired at one organization just by a chance, you might want to find out how old is this organization. And the organization is 14.5 years old. The social crises happen every 5 years. So do you really want to get into this meat grinder? So you thought through and realized that you should check better next time. And since once every 5 years crisis in the companies happens, so this company is going through its crisis period. Old Chinese proverb will be good here. I wish for my enemies to live during the interesting time. And we would search for an organization that is 2 or 3 years of age, or for example 6. They have already overcame the crisis period. So it is okay to be hired by this company, everything is well. And when someone drags you to sign the contract, you probably do not look at the moon calendar, what date it is. If you check it later, wow, the date of signing the contract turned out to be new moon, and you signed the contract. When you're surprised about the terms that you didn't notice in that contract. That's the situation. And if you do it in the full moon, all of the information would be easy to see and open. That's how the nature works. You should give trust when your head is above the surface. And when the wave is over you, that's when it's new moon. Just sit quietly and don't